I think there's been a lot of shifts in the industry since LOUPE in Barcelona a year ago. Of course, there's been some social, political, global conflicts that have emerged since Barcelona a year ago, on top of existing conflicts like Ukraine, which is really putting a difficult kind of environment circling Europe particularly. But the conflict in the Gulf has more recently increased headwinds around inflation, which impacts the label industry with energy costs, with transportation costs, and raw material costs, particularly petrol-based raw materials like films and adhesives and silicones and other chemical-based raw materials that are seeing a lot of inflationary pressures today and will be moving forward. So I think those are some of the changes since last year, and what I think we can look forward to at LOUPE in Chicago is just getting a real live update from companies across the value chain on the ground, selling in the market, and what the impact of some of these external factors are having on the industry. So it really gives us an opportunity, I think, in a very timely manner to come together as an industry and just share experiences, share ideas, share solutions on how we can deal with yet more disruption in the market today. I think currently the best ways to adjust and manage the disruptions today and the uncertainties is to really be in communication with your suppliers, your customers across the value chain. And we use the term collaboration quite a lot, but I think it's really more important than ever to just collaborate, be transparent, wherever you are in the value chain toward your customers or your customers and your suppliers. That transparency and that collaboration and communication around what some of the challenges are, how together we're going to solve or execute these changes that we have to do, because they're not small enough to just absorb. So I think the key is to really to be more intimate and have that collaboration and that communication with your customers and your suppliers. Yeah, based on the label formats that show the highest growth, based on AWA's market research, is broadly shrink sleeve technology. The shrink sleeve technology is a very strong position format in certain application segments, and those application segments are still growing and switching to shrink sleeve. So we see a slight higher growth rate overall with shrink sleeve technology, and this is worldwide as well as in North America, compared to pressure sensitive or glue applied or wrap around the sleeve or in-mold labeling. We see growth in in-mold labeling that's quite attractive, but it's coming from a very small base, so it's very niche growth, but every once in a while a big single application switches to in-mold, and that'll have an impact on the total in-mold market growth because it's coming from such a low level. Pressure sensitive continues to grow at a relatively good pace, not as fast as shrink sleeve, but the offering pressure sensitive labeling has in terms of its flexibility and in terms of its wide variety of adhesives and capabilities for different container types and volume levels makes it quite attractive in today's market, which is very uncertain, particularly in terms of how many SKUs you're going to produce or what your inventories are going to be. So the flexibility that pressure sensitive label provides is helping drive growth there. In terms of applications, you really have to drill down into specific applications. Certainly beverage and food applications, which together make up over 60% of all labeling, is going into food and beverage applications. That's going to drive growth. That growth is slow in those application segments, with the exception of a few sub-applications within beverage or food markets. But health and beauty care, pharmaceutical, medical, those are segments that are showing higher growth than the market growth and where a lot of opportunities are. I think, for quite a while now, there's been this transition from being a producer of only X to being able to produce a broader variety of labeling technologies or packaging formats. That was driven by the introduction decades ago of servo-driven presses that makes a lot of flexibility in terms of changeover and moving from one substrate to another substrate. It also is being driven by the brand owner who wants a solution, and in many cases their brand categories are labeled or packaged differently across a single brand. They'll have some rigid containers with a pressure sensitive shrink sleeve label on it. They'll have some carton board containers for a different subsegment of their market. They'll have pouches for another segment of their market. So they're customizing their packaging and hence labeling needs based on their customer segments for the same product. So that puts a clear advantage to a label converter who can provide the solution for their brand customer rather than say, oh, we're your pressure sensitive label supplier. We can't supply you the other label formats or other packaging formats. So, there's real opportunity for a label converter to, be a broader base supplier of the solution that their customer wants moving forward. Pricing trends in pressure today is enormous due to the inflationary pressures of energy prices, of gasoline prices, and the subsequent pressures on a lot of different goods and services that's going to create moving forward. I think the industry has to respond to that quickly. Otherwise, you're going to really have a lot of margin erosion if you can't pass through those cost increases. So the headwinds that we're feeling today are greater than I've seen in a very long time in terms of percentage increases. So it really puts a bigger emphasis on customers and suppliers working together to execute and pass through these cost increases to maintain healthy businesses moving forward.